how many albums are you putting on and just playing? For most artists, you'll be lucky to get 1, 2, or 3. Nas has a bunch. This is the point that Dexter's making. And it's like Illmatic, you're doing that. You're playing it straight through, whatever the case may be. It was written, I'll put on and listen to it straight through. Now, there are a couple
So
songs.
would I.
There are
a couple songs I'm not crazy about, but I'll do it.
Yeah, but like I can listen to the whole thing one sitting. I Am also, I told you, I Am has a high slugging percentage, but man, there are 4 songs on that album where I'm kind of like, you just don't want to, like, if you're playing that in the car, this is another probably test. This is probably another test. If you're playing that in the car with like people, with like one of your homies or 2 of your homies, and y'all driving somewhere, you have to skip that song before it comes on. And Dr. Knockboot is one of those on I Am, and then there's a couple others that I can't even think of right now. Stillmatic is an album you could play.
I love how you just skipped over Nostradamus. Yes, I love how you just skipped over that. Yeah.
Stillmatic is an album you could play, but then you don't have another one, to your point, until Distant Relatives, if you're counting.
Well, Godson.
Oh yeah, Godson also. Godson. Then you don't have another one till Distant Relatives.
And Lost Tapes, which we didn't mention as well.
Lost Tapes too. Life is Good. So basically, there's 10. There's basically like 10. There's Illmatic. It was written. I Am. Are we counting I Am?
Yeah, I'm fine. I will throw on I Am and listen to it. There's skippers. It's not.
There's a couple. There's big things also, and I know how you feel about big things. Like there's a couple of egregious skippers in that song. Money Is My Bitch.
That's also getting skipped.
Those are the 4.
Yeah, those. See, and that's the thing. Those are some of the weaker songs. But the thing with I Am is, like you said, it's a high slugging percentage. There's songs that are good, are really good.
He has 4 top 25 Nas songs on the album.
It's enough. What I'm saying is there's at least a day where I could say, I want to listen to this album. I know I'm going to have to skip 4 things, but I still want to listen to this album. I'm saying in the other ones, I don't really feel like there are days where I'm like, man, I want to go hear Hip Hop Is Dead. No. So I want to hear songs from it, but I don't want to
Illmatic, it was written. We'll put in I Am. Stillmatic, Godson, Lost Tapes. Wait, I messed up. Sorry about that. Illmatic, it was written I Am. Right, that's 3. 4, yep. Stillmatic, Godson, Lost Tapes. That's 6.
Yep.
You don't have a 7th one until. Are we counting Distant Relatives? Even though it's a collab.
No, I'm just talking about solo projects. So no.
Okay, so no. Life Is Good is the next one. That's 10 years after.
Yep.
And then you have these projects.
And see that point? There's a 10-year gap before you're saying you can do that. Yes.
There's 7 until you get to these 4 projects, all of which you can play front to back, no problem.
Right. Even if there's songs. And my point is, like, even if there's songs you will skip on them, like a good album to be enjoyable doesn't have to be perfect all the way through. But it's like, do you want to hear that album? Do you like the sound of it sonically? Do you like the theme? Do you like the collection of music on there? As a whole, yes. And that's what I'm even saying what I Am. It's got 4 songs that are pretty unlistenable to me. But the other parts of it are really good, and it makes me actually want to listen. There's a day I could be like, yeah, I want to go listen to I Am. I Am is not probably in the height of my Nas discography rankings, but it's a really solid project. Listen, I Am is better than like a lot of some people's best work. Right? Like,
it has, again, 4 top. This is Nas we're talking about. And that album, I Am, as low as some of the lows are, has 4 top 25 Nas songs. I will stand by that. Nas is like Hate Me Now, Undying Love, and We Will Survive. Those are 4 incredible Nas songs.
All great songs. We didn't even talk about, like, and it had commercial success. We're not even talking about the good singles like You Won't See Me Tonight.
The Joint with Scarface.
New York State of Mind Part 2. I Am has good tracks. My point is, I will stand on this point. I'll stand on this hill. Nas, okay, you can tell me that where's the Illmatic, and I don't think Nas had to make another Illmatic because he never could make another Illmatic. He's got Illmatic, and it was written at the top of his career. But when you look at some of the especially the growth and in terms of subject matter and the body of work, Life Is Good. All these albums with Hit Boy, right? We're not even counting Distant Relatives. There's really strong work. I think Nas's end of the career is much better than the middle of his career, where there's a lot more question. He had question from I Am on, came back strong with Stillmatic and Godson, and then there's kind of average to subpar albums there. below that. But then he came back, and it's just, and now he's like rejuvenated, right? Like he seems really rejuvenated, whether it's Hit Boy, whatever it is, new lease on life, talking about different subject matter. It's that. So like for me, I'm saying yes, the perception of his discography has changed for me. Because I thought it was once where it was like, yo, there's this really great rapper who then came back and had flashes. And then you kind of like, yo, is he still really inspired? No, inspiration's clearly here.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. And Nas talked about this album. And maybe we'll save this for the what's next for Nas, because we only have like another,
put this
little
comment
bit
up when you get the chance too from Daniel.
But the perception of Nas that doesn't need to be lost, and what should be lost, but people had this, was, oh, yeah, listen, look at this. We got a Dr. Knockboot lover up in here. Daniel Olaranti, he was having fun with Dr. Knockboot. I love it. Daniel, I got a question for you, man. Are you ever sitting around and you're like, man, I want to bump Dr. Knockboot? Like, do you bump Dr. Knockboot and just say, yo, we got to put this on? You got to put this on? And yes, McLovin, you are right. Nas said it himself. He said he wouldn't do that song again. That's how we know. That's how we know. I just want to know if Daniel is like, you're just sitting at the crib and he's like, yo, we got to put on Dr. Knockboot. Like, are you playing that around your lady or your whoever your love interest is? You know, like, I'm just saying, like, I don't feel like Dr. Knockboot gets the mood popping.
I remember some bars from that song that I'm not gonna repeat. But it's not my favorite Nas song. I'll put it that way. I love Nas. Nas is my favorite artist of all time. So it's just
we love Nas. This is obviously the A Hard to Tell podcast. We love Nas, but Dr. Knockboot I do not love. But there's somebody out there that loves it. Daniel, shout out to you. You're out here loving the Dr. Knockboot. What I was gonna say was the other thing, and Nas addressed this on the album, is the perception that, oh, he didn't have an ear for beats and he hasn't picked good production. Look, there was some questionable Nas production taste. I'm not going to sit here and deny that at times. I didn't care. Now, I thought people were way too harsh on him, and in particular, Salaam Remi, who actually has produced some fire. But people were way too harsh on Salaam Remi, yo. Yeah, people were way too harsh on Salaam Remi, and I thought it was way overblown. And B, you've talked about this before, and how people just sometimes run with a narrative. Oh, Nas can't pick beats. He has a bad ear for beats. I think there are projects where the production was inconsistent. I will definitely say that. And particularly in some of those projects we mentioned, like a Hip Hop Is Dead or a Untitled. I think we can agree on that, or a Nostradamus, or even some parts of I Am, like Dr. Knockboot. Yeah. Please tell me you don't like that beat. But I never thought that he couldn't pick good beats. This man had an ear for the stuff that was on Illmatic, and it was written, which are very well-produced albums. And obviously locking in with a producer like Hit Boy, I think we can get rid of that argument. I don't think anybody's going to be out here looking at Nas's career talking about, man, he had a bad ear for beats. He just had 4 albums in 2 years with really damn good production. So I think we could pump the brakes and put that to rest a little bit.